Joining us now, I had to summon my inner doctor about it, is Ojinika, Chief.
He had to expose that.
Chief.
Chief yet.
Ojinika.
Okay, I'm not a chief yet. I was only joking.
Okpe.
Rufai is so on fire this man.
You're a chief now?
We're missing, not yet. Not yet.
That day I saw your chief cap in the village. You're a chief.
They're listening to you. They'll soon make me one.
My dear people of
They're listening to you.
official announcement. I don't know why you have not given this delectable great woman out there.
Correct,
man. The mother of the future basketball star for Nigeria. I don't know why you've not given her a chieftaincy title. So please, between the next 48 to 56 to how many hours, kindly put a call across and prepare the chieftaincy title for
Correct,
her.
man.
Thank
now,
you so much.
Rufai, I'm your biggest fan now. Correct.
Thank you.
Good morning, Ayo. How are you?
OG? I think the only thing he left out was the recommendation for the title. They should,
I know.
Which one would you like?
We'll think about it. I don't know. My mother was Odezienu. Maybe I'll take two. Odezienu, meaning the person that arranges it all.
Odezienu,
the person who does it all.
Well, the Odezienu of Umukwata.
Umukwata, correct. Well, all right, Rufai. Good morning to you, viewers. Here are some of the stories that are trending across the globe. In the United States, President Joe Biden congratulated Nigeria's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Monday, promising that the U.S. will strengthen ties and collaborate with Nigeria on economic growth and in advancing security. Biden also expressed optimism for Nigeria, stating that as Africa's largest democracy and economy, elected leaders owe it to their people to show that democracy can deliver their needs and that Nigeria's success is the world's success. While in the United Kingdom, King Charles III also congratulated President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and Vice President Kashim Shetima on their inauguration. In a message to Tinubu, the monarch said he looks forward to building an even stronger friendship between Nigeria and the United Kingdom as Commonwealth partners with a deep bond during his tenure as president. In Nigeria, former President Muhammadu Buhari received a heroic welcome on Monday on his return to Daura, his hometown in Katsina State, after handing over the mantle of Nigeria's leadership to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Buhari was received at the Umaru Musa Yar'Adua International Airport by the newly sworn-in governor of the state, Diko Rada, and his deputy, as well as the former Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, among other dignitaries. Residents in Daura also trooped out in their numbers to welcome the ex-president. In Turkey, President Recep Tayyip Erdogan appealed for national unity on Monday after winning a historic runoff election that extended 2 decades of his transformative rule until 2028. The 69-year-old overcame Turkey's worst economic crisis in a generation and the most powerful opposition alliance to ever face his Islamic-rooted party on his way to his toughest election win. Streets erupted in car-honking jubilation and tributes poured in from across the world as the president led a sea of supporters in celebratory song outside his presidential palace in Ankara. Finally, on our entertainment, multiple Grammy Award-winning artist Beyoncé is beaming with pride after sharing the stage with her first child, Blue Ivy, her daughter with husband Jay-Z. Blue Ivy made a surprise appearance at Beyoncé's Renaissance Tour stop in Paris on May 26, thrilling the crowd with her razor-cut choreography as she danced to Beyoncé's Lion King tracks, My Power and Black Parade. It was the first time the 11-year-old would perform on a stage tour with her mother. On Monday, the 41-year-old star took to social media to celebrate her daughter's performance. round of applause for Blue Ivy. I mean, she's only 11. Look at that. She's a superstar.
Superstar already.
Well, all right. Let's begin what's trending. With reactions trailing the inauguration of the 16th president of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and Vice President Kashim Shetima yesterday at the Eagle Square in Abuja. Tinubu took the oath of office after he was declared president by Justice Kayode Ariwoola, taking over from former President Muhammadu Buhari, who spent 8 years in power, leaving behind a track record of successes as well as shortcomings. Tinubu, during his inaugural speech, highlighted a couple of changes that Nigerians should expect to see in the coming weeks. But the one that caught the attention of many Nigerians was the removal of fuel subsidy. Well, after his speech, many fuel stations across the country shut down operations, resulting in long queues. Let's take some reactions. This is from Michael, who wrote, "Fuel subsidy removal has not come into effect officially. Tinubu just made the announcement that it will be removed. But fueling stations have stopped selling fuel. They are hoarding their remaining stock so they can sell at the new rate of 500 naira or above. Nigerians greed." Well, Poja wrote, "Filling stations have already changed their meters and some have stopped selling with just an announcement without effect yet. The fuel they bought at regular price is now being sold at a higher rate. This is not about Tinubu. Greed has eaten deep into our balls as Nigerians." I mean, this is the story out there. I mean, there is a video showing that there are some fueling stations that have actually increased their price to about, I believe this is about 600 naira per liter. I mean, this is quite absurd. But I am glad that NNPC has come out to say that we do have enough fuel in stock and that fuel stations should stop hiking up their price. But I mean, this is the result of that speech. A lot of people have condemned it because they thought it was just too abrupt the way Tinubu had announced the fuel subsidy removal. I mean, this is the effect. I know a lot of people have talked about the market effect. This is what we are seeing at this point. Ayo, really quickly.
Yeah, very quickly. So when you look at his speech or his statement, a number of people's eyes had been on the president, the incoming government, as to whether they would bite the bullet and remove subsidy. So that was a good thing to say. However, the way in which and the manner in which he said it perhaps was what the issue is, or what the issue is, because there's no doubt IMF has said it, World Bank has said it, many economic analysts have said it, that we need to remove subsidy and divert that fund to other developmental projects or infrastructure in the country. But the fact that he said it, there was a ripple effect from that, which is negative, especially for Nigerians. To be fair, Oji, the night before the inauguration, there were already small queues because marketers perhaps had anticipated that this would be part of his inaugural speech. By the morning of Monday, this queues had become a bit longer. But when the speech was done, the queues elongated. And then now, beyond the queues on the road, I hear that price of transport costs has gone up to 2 or 3 times the usual cost. Reports right now coming to me says that some people from Abuja to Lekki, they're paying 1,000 naira where it was 300 naira. So you can already begin to see the effect of that. So good policy, but not well delivered. Yes. It should have been tactically done, and perhaps some things should have already been put in place. Now let me come to the marketers, because we have to talk about that. So they've announced the fuel subsidy going. How does that immediately impact on the price of fuel, as we see on that pump?
Tweet, yes.
Why should it go up to 600 naira immediately? Did they buy the new unsubsidized fuel? Why is the cost being passed on to the people? Why are some marketers deliberately hoarding fuel? Because Mele Kyari, as was said in previous fuel scarcity situations, that we have enough supply to go around for at least 1 month. Yes. What is the problem? Why are they hoarding? I hope this would be investigated, and that Nigerians do not become Nigerians' own problem, so that we see that it's not just the government that we point fingers at. Even the people who are marketing the fuels, the people who are selling, ought to also be brought to be questioned as to why this immediate rise in cost.
That is the actual point, Ayo.
So answering your question, there's something called the pass-through effect. Once the president said what he said yesterday, a lot of things happened. In the depots, they heard that message. The interpretation is the price flipped in the depots. And also the cost at which they collect from them for charges of the truck, the price flipped. Probably when a 33,000 liter truck dispense everything it's got, it has to go and queue up in the depot again. The moment he dispensed all that is struck, the dynamics has changed, irrespective of what they had in their tank farms before. So the dynamics change across board, and it's the ripple effect that happens to the marketers. And that's why they react that way. It is also the pass-through effect that happens to the cost of commodities. And that's why I kept on insisting, for you to make decisions, there must be an econometric outlook on the pass-through effects where you weigh the variables. It's always a case of a cascading domino effect once that happens. So what should be done now? You see, the announcement he made, it would have been different if he even made the announcement that he had a subsidy removal plan. Whatever he's going to do now, he must be able to have a plan of how he's going to navigate this. Because the announcement has caused a ripple. And that's why we advise. Even if it's an economic kitchen cabinet, you should have them working around the clock as we speak today. They're going to do three things. Number one, they're going to diffuse the effect in the media through calculated attempts. So Mr. Dele Alake needs to start work now. The next couple of press releases in the media will be very critical to this issue. So he needs to start his work now. Write those press releases incumbent on the advisory of the economic team. Put up a plan. Show a pathway to your resolution of this. Then try to stabilize market. Then the fourth layer is also input from the NNPC, like they have said that they have enough. But NNPC will always say they have enough in times of crisis, but it doesn't affect the market reality.
Yeah, Nigerians are our biggest problem.
You need to now set up a crisis scenario, put it out there, sort of like stabilize things, and ensure that going forward, key policy pronouncements like that have a calculated, well thought out plan. I think that's the first place for crisis management. Will that totally manage a crisis? It might not.
Right.
But also take it in good faith and take the reaction. So in the next couple of days, there has to be press releases by Mr. Dele Alake and his team as a spokesperson. What they will say should be dependent on the advice of the economic team.
All right.
Because they now need to put a plan on ground, and that's what they should keep on pressing.
Right. But you know, the overall transition process was a huge success. I mean, I know we all watched the proceedings, and we also, saw some negatives and we saw some positives as well. I thought his inaugural speech was on point. He hit the right notes. But I don't know if you saw some of those videos, if we can pull some up. I believe there was also a journalist that was stopped. Did you see that? Did you investigate? Do you know who that journalist was?
I tried to even look at his face to see if he was identified. They haven't said anything yet.
Yes, but that video was trending also on social media because he breached security.
But see, he was accredited.
Yes,
he had the badge on. So how could he? What could have happened?
Yes.
That was a serious security breach.
Yes, I mean, and also, people were talking about how he staggered on stage, but I think that's neither here nor there. I thought that, the whole process was well done. Kudos to former President Muhammadu Buhari. Well, let's head over to Kano State now, where the newly elected governor, Abba Kabir Yusuf, on Monday caused a stir on social media after a video surfaced online showing the governor refusing to sit on the official chair used by his predecessor, Abdullahi Ganduje. In the video, the governor was seen opting for an official smaller seat as he prepared to give an address. Rufai, what do you make of this story? Look at people were saying, this man knows how not to, how to protect himself at this point. This was quite the video there. He refused to sit on Ganduje's seat. But you know that there's been a lot of reactions to this story and the fact that Ganduje and the NNPP had issues. Well, in the meantime, supporters of the New Nigeria People's Party booed the Emir of Kano, Abdullahi Aminu Ado Bayero, at the Sani Abacha Stadium during the inauguration ceremony of the new governor. Kano former Governor Abdullahi Ganduje had crowned Bayero the 15th Emir of the state in 2020 after dethroning Lamido Sanusi. The presidential candidate of the New Nigeria People's Party, Rabiu Kwankwaso, in April had promised that the new governor of the state, Abba Kabir, would revisit the issues. Fine.
Like I said this morning, he said he doesn't want to sit down there.
Yeah.
You know, in African parlance, they say maybe they have put Otumokbo on the seat and things like that. But I don't want to believe that. So I feel there was no big deal. He should have just sat down there.
Yeah.
I mean, the seats will have been screened, but also...
Otumokbo is what?
You know, Otumokbo. I can't be explaining the meaning of Otumokbo.
This is an international
TV.
Yes.
Yeah.
Witchcraft, is it?
Otumokbo means enchantment.
Enchantment, charms.
Charms
Charms.
of
Great,
some
that's
sort.
it,
But
yeah.
I don't want to believe that.
Right.
I mean, it just goes to show the acrimony. And see, I keep telling people, don't die in the war of politicians. This same Ganduje they are fighting with used to also be a strong person in the Kwankwasia movement. He was deputy governor to Rabi Musa Kwankwaso. Now that they are loggerheads, you can see the fight playing out. And we all know where the allegiance of Kabir Yusuf lies. I hope that when Kwankwaso and probably Kabir Yusuf start their own fight many years down the line, they will not pull the Kano people into this. Because now, you remember how everything was good between Ganduje and Kwankwaso, and the role Kwankwaso played for the emergence of Ganduje. But we see how they fought. So I just hope when the thing twists, we will not see the same. Acrimony will not take anybody further. It is incumbent on the governor to be able to investigate things. Yes, he can. Like he said, he wants to revoke the sale of some land that's around schools. You can investigate, you can set the record straight. But please do not have a vindictive air, an acrimonious air. Because if you are focusing on fighting your enemies, you will not be able to focus on the Kano people that need development. And please, they should temper down the political climate. I think it was unnecessary booing the emir, Ado Bayero, in Kano. It is not nice. I know there was fractious matter on ground, and governors too should be watchful. In their fight and political dominance, they should not bring in our revered traditional institutions into it. Because we all know the reason why Sanusi was pulled out was just because of his closeness to Kwankwaso, the former governor that brought him in. But you can see the backlash. And this is to show all of us that power is transient. It doesn't last forever.
Yes.
And we should be careful in our outlook on what we do. I'm not saying the new governor should not investigate and try to get the book straight from the past. Just like I'm not saying that governors that are just coming in should not call out the governors that owe big debts in their states. But they should not also be like the people they are trying to castigate and temper things down. Ganduje is out today. Governor Kabir Yusuf too should remember that someday soon, he too will be going out of that position.
Absolutely.
Let's be careful. Acrimony will not take us anywhere.
Absolutely. Well, let's take another story. Former Governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, was trending on social media on Monday after a video surfaced online showing the former governor conferring awards to various individuals during the pre-inauguration dinner and States Awards night held at the banquet hall of the Government House in Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital, over the weekend. Wike conferred nearly 200 awards that night. Well, in the video, the former governor was seen carelessly placing the honor medal on Osa Uchendu's hat instead of around his neck. Let's take a look.
Osa Uchendu. Osa Uchendu. Ato Uchendu.
I mean, Ayo, you know what? I remember when President Muhammadu Buhari had, conferred those national honors a couple of months ago, and he stood so gallantly. I mean, he is a soldier, but what could have happened here with Governor Wike? What was going on with him? I mean, I want to attribute it to the fact that it was a lot of people he was conferring awards to, but how come he was, I don't even know what to say.
So that's the first thing I was going to say. I had 200 people to award, so it was like, let's get this done and over with. Just move. If ideally, Ideally, he should have taken off his hat so that it would be easy to have him wear his medal over his head. And that's what he did for those who had come after him, but he didn't. And so Wike, in his usual style of maybe no nonsense, I just let me get out of here, remove your hat and put it back on. But it's made it trend on social media. People have, attributed it to a number of things. But I think in his usual fashion and style, he's left on a high and let people talking, even down to the last day of him being in office. But notwithstanding that, the last few days of office, we saw a number of government officials try to reward those who had served them diligently. We saw the President's honors list as well released a day before the inauguration. So we've had a number of state governments and at federal level rewarding those who got the medals and honors. But the question that had been on the lips of many people was that what was the criteria for adjudging them or giving them these honors, these awards? But congratulations to everyone. And Mr. Secondus, next time, please take off your hat so that you wouldn't have the honor given to the hat as opposed to the person.
The honor was given to the hat. I refine quickly.
You know what I remember now? You remember when Governor Wike was talking to some of the traditionalists and said, "You, Usman Danfodio."
Correct. I remember that video. It's mad.
This is Usman Danfodio moment. It's legendary. I mean, definitely people are going to miss Governor Wike. No doubt about that. I'm sure it's because the man didn't pull up his eye, just put there. You can even see the man took it in good faith. He was laughing himself. But most importantly, giving honor to Umonazi and those that helped himself. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, all right. Let's end what's
So he's no longer governor, summer governor now, right?
Yes, so
that's how life is. Just be careful.
We've always said that power is.
So Wike can be former governor now.
Yes. He's home now.
Okay.
Really relaxing and chilling.
Okay.
Well, all right. Well, let's end what's trending today by highlighting the first dance by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his wife Remi Tinubu during the presidential inaugural ball in Abuja on Monday night. The couple were joined by Vice President Kashim Shetima and his wife, Nana, as they danced to Louis Armstrong's What a Wonderful World, and then Nigerian Fuji musician Ayinde Marshall took to the stage to serenade the couple. Let's take a look. Congratulations.
The part of Tinubu's dance I like is this.
When he goes up and down.
I like the way Tinubu Baba does it. He goes,
and then Kashim said, this one is missing.
Oh, that was he also had a, what do you call it, a Bugada.
Yes. Another thing, but those that say President Tinubu is not romantic. See the way he held Mama, First Lady. I just held her by the I said, Baba carried his full options. I'm like, Baba held her.
Kashim doing his Bugada. Congratulations to all of them. Well, let them dance into their beautiful tenure. I hope all Nigerians can dance with them as well.
My new dance step.
All right, Rufai. Well, thank you all for your great analysis, as always, on What's Trending.
Thank you,
Well, that's all I have for you on What's Trending today. I'll see you all tomorrow.